Happy Pride, y'all. I actually had a game design topic for this month, but it's just been kind of crazy. It was going to be last month, but I didn't have time. Long story short, for Pride Month, I'm going to talk about a personal topic, something that I proposed in my Discord and got received positively. Plus, on the forum, everybody was just asking how I'm doing. So I'm going to take that as a sign that I could talk about something personal, not necessarily game design. If you want more game design stuff, ask me more game design questions. So, why are my pronouns like that? This is something that I actually get asked relatively regularly in person and online. So why don't we get a little formal with it? My pronouns, to be precise, are it, its, but in truth, I don't really care what pronouns you use for me. He, him, they, them, get spicy with it. Throw a neopronoun in there. But like, why? Uh, um, in short, it's like a combination of something that's like animism and also not feeling exactly human. To make a short story long, I initially, when I first changed my pronouns, they were she, her, and that was when I identified closer to a woman, like a binary trans woman almost. And then later on, I sort of realized I was aromantic, and I went through this sort of frenzied period where I was like, well, if romance isn't going to naturally, magically, like chemically happen for me, like it does for everybody else, I gotta make some sort of a relationship happen, even if it's like queer platonic. I had to focus my mental energy on it. Like I had to actively pursue it. So I went through a frenzy period where I was like, I'm gonna make this work. And during that process, at one point, I was sexually assaulted, and I was very upset. I was so upset that I, in the moment protest, I was like, screw humanity. I'm gonna take its pronouns. I'm opting out. I'm opting out of the whole humanity thing. Um, then as things happen, like I kind of healed my wounds, healed them enough, and I designed a game about like dating and where there's potential consent violations to sort of process my feelings. Sort of came to grips with everything. But even after all that healing, I still really like the pronouns. And all this is sort of explained that this came from an emotional place first. And now I'm kind of analyzing it to articulate why I stuck with them, because I kind of had to like analyze my feelings to get to this place. All right. I've been vegan for a while, and a part of that change was a desire to hold more compassion for all living creatures. Like, even if I couldn't empathize with the animals, I can understand that they don't want to suffer, and I want them to be happy. And its pronouns are often reserved for objects and sometimes animals. Like, what if I felt more like an object? Is it so wrong to be an object? Perhaps we should treat objects and animals with the same kind of courtesy and respect that we give towards the he's and the she's, the men and the women. So like that's like one part of it. If my programmer brain wants to explain it as like if like we were all entities within an object-oriented language, like humans would be like a subclass of like a bigger like material entity, and I'm just opting out of the subclass. I'm choosing to just be in the general overarching entity class. I don't necessarily need to be in the man and woman subclass. I could be in, or even the human subclass, I could be in the entity class. I'm trying to explain it in less programmery terms. Well, I guess that kind of does it, doesn't it? Like instead of choosing a gender or pronouns that are highly associated with a gender, I just want to be associated with existing, an entity. I just want to be associated with an object that I want to be associated with a thing that exists in reality. um, and this is kind of why I don't really get upset about people using their pronouns for me. In my mind, it's sort of like in the same way people will like give a name to a car and decide to call it he, him, or something. Or the way somebody might have a boat and be like, she's my boat, or you know what I mean? Like it's like they're seeing me as some subclass of a gender, and who's to say maybe I could do that, maybe I could emulate that. Who's to say? So I think that about covers the why, I think. But now let's cover some extra bits that people always seem to get hung up on. Sometimes people get uncomfortable using the pronouns, it, because historically they're used to dehumanize and like trans people or people in general. It's used in a very dehumanizing, offensive way. And I can understand if you're uncomfortable using my pronouns, you're worried about how people are going to think of you or whatever. I get it. Although if you use they, them for me and you know my pronouns, I generally think you're a coward, just so you know. But like, I get it. So the thing is that here's how I think about it, and maybe they'll help you understand where I'm coming from on this. I think we can all agree that she and her are not like offensive pronouns, right? Like, if I was a trans woman and I say my pronouns were she, her, like nobody would like really have a problem with using she, her, except for the transphobes. But if we were to meet a trans man and he was like, my pronouns are he, him, and you still use she, her for him, then that would be offensive, right? That would be an improper use of pronouns. That would be a transphobic way of using pronouns. It's, in short, it's not the pronouns that are offensive, it's the context surrounding them. Maybe you've just never had a context where it was respectful, at least until you met a person like me. So it's not that it is always disrespectful. It's just that sometimes people are using it to say like, oh, you're not even human. And in my case, it's like, I don't care. I don't even. This is respectful to me because that's how I prefer my pronouns. Get it? Yeah. So I guess the only hanging loose thread is like my gender. Anyways, for this video's Unranked highlight, I want to talk about Down by the Water by Joseph Frederick. This is a very cute 18-card game about chilling by a lake and catching fish or taking photos of animals or catching bugs, collecting flowers, that sort of thing. Your 18 cards are arranged in this kind of circle, I think of 8 cards. And on the corners of the cards are different actions to signify what you're putting into your journal or your scrapbook or whatever. And each card has like some critter on them that has an effect when they're like revealed, and some way that you could coax them into doing something that kind of changes the state of the circle. And your only really ability is to like splash around the puddle and coax the animals. And so you aren't given like an explicit objective in this game, but like it gives you like some, like, I guess like themes or things that you could try to shoot for. Like you could be a bug collector, so you're trying to collect one of each type of bug, or like maybe you're like a marine biologist studying amphibians, so you want to take pictures of all the amphibians, that sort of thing. And so if you're being really strict on what the things you want to do, you might try to like coax the animals into changing the circle so you could get to the right corner action to do the thing that you want to do. But you might also just reveal the cards and be like, oh, hey, yeah, I want to feed that catfish, or I found this perfect skipping rock. I want to try to set up the lake to have like an epic rock skipping. And that was kind of like part of how I experienced it. I was like, okay, I'm going to collect the bugs. Like, ooh, I really want to feed this catfish for some reason. The whole game kind of gave me like a Animal Crossing vibe, but in like an 18 card game. And I had a great time with it. I thought it was great. Yeah, yeah. That's it. I don't have any big design updates. I've yeah, it's been busy. I have a few topics in the pipeline, like I mentioned. Did I mention it at the beginning? I actually had a yeah, I did. I had a topic that I want to discuss, but Pride Month happened. So I do have one in the chamber, but and also a bunch of personal ones that are in the Discord. So I'm gonna take it as it goes, 1 month at a time or 2 months, because last month I was crazy busy. I almost didn't get this one up, but I decided I got up for Pride Month. All right. Yeah, that's it. Ciao. Bye. I wonder how this shirt's gonna behave with the green screen. I got a little lazy with the lighting. Not gonna lie. So I might be transparent on the inside, but it's okay because I'm wearing this UV jacket. I've been doing a lot of stretches. I've been playing a lot of Step Mania. I would stream it, but I would get copyright striked so fast, you wouldn't believe. Also just finished Deltarune Chapter 5. Amazing game. Amazing. I'm already itching to play Chapter 6. Okay, go. Shoo, 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 shoo.